So we're going to be starting off with some guns. I normally like to position myself right on top of these barrels. What's nice about this spot for AFKing is that the NPCs automatically walk next to you. Now I recommend using Cyborg V3 while you're AFK farming the NPCs. Don't do it in a public server because you'll probably get killed. Anyways, here's a couple of the guns that you cannot use. These guns do too much knockback damage and they just kind of fling around the map. Now if you want to be risky, just monitor your computer. Don't do this overnight, but you can aim it a certain way so then it doesn't fling around as much. They'll kind of just fling around into the water instead. You can see here with Soul Guitar it works pretty well. With the bazooka though, he kind of gets in a weird spot and he gets flung further away and they can get stuck behind like an object and then you just can't AFK farm anymore. Now next up, for the swords. There's two different types of swords and you might be thinking, no, there's like 35 swords in the game. No, there's two different types. The first type of sword, you can use the M1s and you stand still. It's pretty simple. You can see here as I'm spamming the CDK, I'm completely standing still. Great, easy to AFK that. If we set up Buddha with the CDK, then all I have to do is stand behind the barrels instead, and you can use the V1 Buddha or V2, both work. And you can see the ranges so far. I'm just going to hit the NPCs. It's really easy to farm this way. Then with the true triple katana, whenever I use the M1s, it will dash me forward every couple hits. Now because of this dash, it makes it so that you can't really spam click yourself, just like I did with the CDK. Instead, you have to use this weird method where you just, on your macro, you're gonna like hold down your auto clicker or spam click on your mouse. Make sure your mouse isn't moving on your screen as well, and then spam click the 3 button or whichever button your sword is for your inventory. I always put my sword in number 3 slot. Just unequipped it, re-equipped it, and you're never gonna dash forward. You kind of just cancel out that animation or that cycle. It makes it really easy to grind mastery on every single sword, except there's one weird sword. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like the Canvender or something like that. We're just gonna call it the Canvender. Every single click it goes forward. I don't know how you're meant to AFK farm this. It's hard to farm mastery on it. You can see I have 327 mastery, and that is all from manually grinding. This is a very difficult sword to grind. Like, I would definitely recommend using it when you're grinding levels, just because it's the only sword you can't AFK farm. So for farming Blizzard, I know it's an oddly specific fruit, but it's really easy to farm once you get the Blizzard domain ability. Here you can see I'm using the Choppa. This gives a 10% cooldown reduction, which means you can auto farm all 5 of these NPCs, or how many there are. You're going to be able to get mastery extremely quick. Alright, now we're also going to be going on to Quake. And that's another oddly specific fruit. You can actually AFK Blizzard over here as well. It's at the Haunted Castle. What's extra nice about AFKing over here is that you're going to get your Quake mastery, and you're also going to get a crap ton of bones. So then you can get fragments, money, and XP. This XP can be used to get more things max mastery. So it's pretty much like an infinite cycle of getting stuff max mastery. Again, another reminder, I'm using Gunstat here. For this entire video, I'm using Gunstat. The damage here is not actually very accurate. You end up getting like 50-60,000 damage every single time that you use the Quake V2. I do not have the V1, I spent the fragments to get it V2. I'd recommend spending it to get V2 because it's worth it. Quake isn't a strong fruit in PvP. Its Z ability just isn't too accurate, so it's not really in the meta.